shows how much confidence they've got. Now this is going to be a really close race, really intense, often is the K2 men's, particularly since they brought it back into the Olympic programme.
Yeah, this is a really exciting one at every competition, regardless of whether it's, you know, the first one of the year where people are maybe just finding their feet, or whether it's the World Championships where everyone's pretty cemented in their crews. So yeah, really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it could be a real ding-dong, a real scrap for medals, this one. Ole Kukarik and Ihor Trunov. Very experienced crew who's been in the medals over the last few years, so don't discount them. Then we'll have the crew from Czechia, SPICAR and HAVEL, Jakub SPICAR and Daniel HAVEL. And they were the silver medalists in Poznan, so they've got form this season. And, well, the Czech crowd are expectant, especially when they saw the K4 yesterday winning a silver medal. Right, Dragoslavevic, Marko, the older brother, in the back there. Veljko Vestica from Serbia. Now, can Serbia add to the medals they've already picked up across women and men? Don't put it past them. Jakub SCHOPF and Max LEMKE from the K4. Of course, Olympic gold medal winners in K2 and K4, this pair. It'll be interesting to see what they bring here to the Europeans. Germany just struggling by their very high standards a little bit, and especially in the K4 they were beaten out of the medal, so they'll want to get one back here, I'm sure. Alex Borucki and Valery Vichev go in lane 5 from Poland. Lithuania, Mindaugas Malonis and Andrei Olinik, who were bronze medalists at the European Championships last year. Mindaugas Malonis was in their K4 yesterday, came 8th. Hungary, Leventi Kuruc and Mark Opavsky. They were the winners on home water in the Szeged World Cup, this young crew. Got 5th place in Poznan. So, be interesting to see what they've got today. Samuele BURGO, Tommaso FRESCHI from Italy. Bronze medalists at the World Cup in Poznan just a few weeks ago. And then Bram Sikins and Artur Peters, finalists in Hungary. So the final of the men's K2 500 metres. The starter didn't hang around, got them away pretty sharpish. And Germany in the white caps and that distinctive pink boat, they're away well. Surely the Olympic champions expect themselves to deliver here. A little bit disappointing, as I said, from the German squad so far at the European Championships, but these pair are very experienced. They know what it takes to win medals, and that was a dramatic race at the Olympic Games, and they came out on top of that, and they'll be expecting to do the same here.
Yeah, it looks like Germany are taking a pretty healthy lead in what is a really tight race usually, so we'll see if they can hold on in this last 250 metres.
Yeah, you can see Hungarians, Kuruc and Opavsky also go away really well. This is where things really can change in the 500 metres now. We're getting to the final 200 metres of this race. The arms are burning, the legs are burning, the lactic acid is building and building, but you've got to keep going. You have to keep that stroke rate high. You can see from the looks on the faces. There's Maldonis and Olinik in lane 6 going really well from Lithuania. Lane 5 started well, that was the Polish. Maybe beginning to fade a little now. The Germans are holding on, but everyone's coming back at them. Watch for the Italians. They love a late charge over the far side of the course in the blue boat. But are the Germans going to hang on to this one? It's going to be a blanket finish. It's so close. You've even got Serbia right up there in lane 2. I think it was the Germans. The Italians were up there. And as were the Serbians. Absolutely fantastic finish. Almost impossible to call that one. Just like the Olympic Games we saw in Paris, everyone was having a go at the Germans who took the early lead. Had they done too much? Almost. It looked like they just managed to get their bow over the line in that first place. And it wasn't the Serbians, I think it might have been the Czechs that came with a late finish.
And I think they were using every single member of that crowd to pull them over the line. That was a really excellent finish from the Czechs.
Yeah. And that's sometimes what happens when you're on home water. Things are going well and you build that momentum, it kind of snowballs. They weren't the fastest starter, the Czechs maybe kept the powder dry just a little bit, but really came charging once they heard the crowd, once they got into that last 100 metres, into the red zone, literally with the red boys, but metaphorically as well. There's so much lactic acid flowing around the system, and we've seen it so many times with Italy in the C2 and the C1 as well as the kayaks. They come late, they're there or thereabouts, and really seem to pick up towards the end. They're in the blue boat near the bottom of the screen. Fairly consistent start right the way across the board, and then just at this point here the Germans begin to move ahead. Max LEMKE, there you can see, and Jakub shot in the front. They had the early lead. They had almost a boat length at halfway, but things change a lot. That's what makes the 500 metres so exciting. And Hungarians were strong, weren't they? But it seems that the Czechs had the best of the last 100 metres.
Yeah, absolutely. I love these slow-mo shots because you can see how much every athlete is doing in such a short space of time. They're catching on the water, they're driving around, like the synchronicity that the second person's got with that stroke speed, and they're doing that at God knows how high a stroke
140
rate,
strokes a minute, something like that. And you can just hear the crowd, by the way, so I suspect they've been told that Czechia have won a medal. I think it might even be silver. Italy in the medals as well, so it looked like Germany were the winners. We're just looking for confirmation of that now. So Germany will be confirmed as winners. The first 5 crews all on the same second. Talking of second, we'll see in a moment, Jakub SPICAR and Daniel HAVEL from Czechia stormed through the field to pick up the silver medal. And then you can see confirmation there. And then the bronze medal, Samuele, BURGO, Tommaso, FRESCHI. Look at that, 0.2 separates the gold from silver, and then another 10th